They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet because they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. What up? Welcome to Stars in the House. I'm Seth. This is James. And
Yes.
what is
That's it.
Stars in the
That's
House?
the show.
Yeah, take care. What is Stars in the House, Jimmy?
Stars in the House is our daily live stream that we began 10 months ago when Broadway shut down. And we did it. We chose the Actors Fund because the Actors Fund is for everyone, every professional in the performing arts.
On stage, backstage, in front of the camera, behind the camera, and also, by the way, front of house. So ushers, house managers, caterers on film sets, anybody can go to actorsfund.org and get help. And James just found out that if you've already gotten money from the Actors Fund, you can actually get it again. They're sending out whole new loan cycles.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw the show Saturday night, and if you haven't, you should see it. The Effies. How many Effies did we have? We
had like 8
We were
Effies.
going to have 8, and I think one.
Oh yeah, one.
You told the wrong time too, right, Seth?
She was on California time,
Right.
So she was trying to do her iPod, but we had a lot of Effies.
We had a lot of Effies, but what I was going to say was the number of women who, after they had starred, Seth and I talked about this, after they had starred in Dreamgirls, they needed help. Like a lot of people in the arts, and they went to the Actors Fund. I think there were three, right?
That had gone to the Actors Fund for help,
Right.
And paid rent, pay grocery bills, pay health insurance, and anyone can go for help. You go to actorsfund.org. If you can give some help, you can give some donations. Please donate at StarsInTheHouse.com or text Fund 2020 to 56512. You're going to get a receipt. Forward your receipt to donations@StarsInTheHouse.com, and then we'll send it to one of our Star Search winners tonight, and they will give your donation a 3.5 rating, a 3.75. It depends what the level is.
You have to be a certain age to know that reference.
Well, they're at the
and
Star
guess
Search
what?
reunion. They better know what it is.
And guess what? I know exactly what you're talking about. We have passed the 650,000 mark, Seth.
Wait, why so low energy?
Because I'm going to say it like this: $650,970 raised for the Actors Fund. But see, look what happens. It ends up being a smattering because it's just us.
I know. Well,
Where's our studio audience?
Mandy walked in.
No, it really is amazing that we've raised over $650,000, and we haven't gotten
I was so
the
weird
totals.
saying we raised it because really it's just everyone that's donating.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? When I say we, I mean Stars in the House. That's what it. Well, and I guess and I guess Mandy wants to be included
She's been
in that.
barking nonstop during the show these days, but usually begins at 8:30. You can't start at places, girl.
But I will. Your sister does the donations most nights, and she just sent this. What'd she say?
Governor Cuomo says New York City is not New York without Broadway. That's right.
That is correct. But we want to thank Amy from California. This the donations that came in after our show on Saturday. Amy from California, who donated $36. I have been I have been watching you guys since March and loving every minute. I've become a musical aficionado, and I'm constantly playing cast albums, much to the chagrin of my family. I knew you were going to do that. Look,
shove it.
I knew you were going to say that.
What don't they like about it?
Thank you so much for all that you've done and are continuing to do. My husband and I have not been working since March 2020, and I understand how it feels to have your industry shut down. Everybody needs help, and I'm happy that I can donate a little. Thank you so much. Seth and James, you truly feel like friends. Here's hoping 2021 brings an end to all of this tragedy. Amen. And Seth, Nina Hennessy
I love
donated
Nina.
$100 from New York City. Thank you, Nina.
From
That's
Dreamgirls
so
on Broadway. She's one of
amazing.
the Cadillac car backup girls. Hold on, I have to send this screen.
Sure. We have for tomorrow. We
can finally announce this.
Well.
Oh no, that's Thursday. Sorry.
Yeah, that's Thursday. But tomorrow we have Myths and Hymns.
Tomorrow, one of my favorite musicals, Myths and Hymns by Adam Gettle. They're redoing it, but
is it Myths? I want to say Myths, but it's really Myths.
No, it's Myths and Hymns. It's also my drag name. Anybody? Myths and Hymns. Anyway, it's a redoing of it with this great cast. We have Jose Lana, Renee Fleming, Kelly O'Hara. Ted Sperling's putting it together. So we're going to have this brand new. It's one of the most stunning scores. I can't tell you how much I love that show. And I actually worked with Ted on the original production. My God, load these 20 years. So we're going to have this new cast on Wednesday, and then
we were able to finally announce yesterday, if you saw it, the cast that we were talking about.
Grey's Anatomy. Thursday night.
That's right. Chandra Wilson, who's a member of the Actors Fund Council on the West Coast, put it together. You just reached out to her, right?
I reached out to her. Yeah, I knew her. She'd done my Chatterbox years ago, and I said, "Amanda, you cannot start the podcast." She can't. She's starting at places now. Anyway, I said, "Can you?" I don't know. I was like, "Can you ask somebody?" And suddenly she's like, "Here, are all the cast members are going to do," and she got a ton.
She got like her and 10 other cast members.
Yeah, they're all coming from Grey's Anatomy. We're going to find out all the inside scoop: who's sleeping with whom, who's not sleeping with whom, why they're not sleeping with whom. This whole season is all about COVID. So it's a lot of mask this, mask that. Anyway, we're going to get all the scoop. That's Thursday night. And we're also going to be on people.com that night, which is just helpful. Oh, because that brings us more audiences. Listen, it's really important. Can you like this video you're watching right now if you're on YouTube? Because it helps the algorithm and it comes up more. Can you subscribe to the channel? Because that helps us reach out to Chandra and say, hey, we have a famous show. Like, look at all of our amazing followers. So subscribe. It's so easy. And the third thing is and share. So just copy and paste on top and go,
like,
oh my
share,
God.
subscribe.
Yeah, but like, you copy and then you put it on your social media and you go, I'm watching this great show.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was anybody alive in the 80s? Yeah. If you were, you'll enjoy the show. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
So we're going to do this in segments. This is, if you don't know what Star Search was.
Oh, Hook. Carol Leaf knew it. You knew it. Yeah.
Oh, well, good guess. Bravo.
Yes.
You made a big announcement. Something was coming up. So
I said a long running show. And then some people were saying on the comments, daytime, because it's true. I did not say daytime.
We do have a daytime reunion coming up soon.
But we do have a daytime reunion coming up. But that one, but I don't know if there are that many other than show that you still get like $1 residuals from.
Oh, what about all my children? What about me and Rosie? All my children we can do together.
Oh, that'd be great.
Rosie, are you available to come on All My Children reunion? I'm watching you on the little screen. But also Law and Order. But I was on the loser. I was on Law and Order CI.
Oh,
nobody wants to see that crap.
I didn't know that.
That's the only one I got cast on.
I assumed that you were on the good one.
No, I auditioned so many times. They were like, you can go to it's like basically the bus and truck Law and Order.
Oh gosh. All right, let's move on, shall we?
Yes, Queen.
To the show that I wished this little boy from Texas had been on, Star Search. I looked so longingly at the contestants, knowing that was the only way that I could be an actor was on Star Search. So now I'll live vicariously in aftermath through all the people on the show tonight.
We don't have any acting category tonight. Remember that they do the same scene twice. We don't have that.
That was the most boring part of the show.
Let's take 2 unknown scenes and make us watch them twice.
It was all about the comics, the music, and the dance,
and the spokesmodels. Just kidding.
No.
Okay, so please welcome.
They didn't have guys, did they? Or did they?
No, that was the Robin Bird show. All right, so let me put New Yorkers out there. Okay, first we're going to start with the dance category. I'm welcoming a boy back east himself, Mr. Michael Berresse.
Michael.
Jazz hands. Hi,
Michael.
Hi.
Just so you know, Michael Berresse was in a group called, he was doing Broadway, but he was in Boys Back East, and I was watching the introduction. It was you. There were 2 Randys, right?
Yes. Randy Wojcik, Bettis.
Randy Wojcik, and what's the other one?
Randy Bettis.
Joey Peasy, who worked on our Broadway show, Disaster. And who was the last one?
Scott Fowler.
Scott Fowler. See, he used to be a dancer, but he's gained like 300 pounds. He looks crazy now. Hi, Scott.
Oh! Hi.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, he looks terrible, doesn't he? He just looks, he's really let himself go.
The most stunning. When was the last time you guys saw each other?
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's been that long.
I mean, I follow you on all of the channels.
All the social media outlets.
I was actually just looking at something you posted today of one of your dancers. And like,
yes, my little Ellie. Yeah. I'm now planting seeds with these young kids.
I know.
We're girls in Leducas when they're 13.
We're the older generation. So Scott and Michael, you were super young. You were in New York. How did you get Star Search? Like, I don't even remember auditionings happening. How did it happen?
My memory was that it was Randy Wojcik who pulled us all together. It was his idea. And we were all just like, we thought it was just going to be like just a fun thing to do.
And
he had talked to Hinton Battle, and Hinton had been on the show, and Hinton was like, you guys should put a tape together. So Randy knew all of us. Everybody knew somebody in the group, but Randy knew everybody. So he just brought us together, brought us down to 890 Broadway. We made remember 890 Broadway, Seth?
We had all the Effies on. We had Donna McKechnie on Friday and all the Effies Saturday. So it was nonstop 890 this, 890 that. So yes, I remember 890.
Everything happened at 890 Broadway.
We just put the video together, and we thought we were going to LA for like a weekend, and we got permission to leave our shows, and then we won a couple times, and they were like, okay, now you have to come back next week. And we were like, oh. okay.
But did you really only look at it? You just looked at it as a fun adventure for you guys just to go to LA and that was it?
100% for me.
100%. Yeah. We did it as a fluke. I mean,
Wow.
we were all working at the time, and it was like, let's just put this tape together and see what happens. And then it sort of just snowballed. And I remember, Michael, that we went there and we stayed there. Did we come back?
Well, I was doing Forever Plaid off Broadway, and I got like 2 days off, and then I was like, because the show shot like 2 shows on a Saturday and then 2 on Monday, and then nothing again until the next Saturday. So I was like, well, I'll just get Monday or Sunday off, Saturday off, and stay the weekend. And then they were like, you have to be back next weekend for the final. And I called New York. I called my stage manager and begged.
Wait, Connie?
What's that?
Was it Connie?
It was Connie.
Michael and I did the show together. I'm sure you did have to beg. Continue.
It was Connie. But I wasn't fully in the show yet. I was covering 2 of the guys. So they were like, sure, you don't matter. And I was like, I'll show you. So I stayed. We stayed for the weekend. But we had Scott, you remember we ran out of music. We ran out of costumes. We ran out of choreography.
Yeah, we were not prepared. What happened was we joined at the very end of the Star Search season. So we went right from competing to the semifinals to the finals. It was all in one fell swoop. And we were staying at the Sportsman's Lodge with Billy Porter.
Yeah.
He was the singer that season. And we were making costumes and trying to find music and rehearsing at Debbie Reynolds' dance studio, trying to make up new routines. And basically what we did was the same routine to different music over and over and over again.
Yeah, I picked up on that.
Wait a minute. I was going to ask you, so how many songs did you have prepared when you went there?
Songs. It was like dun, 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 dun.
Techno music was just coming into play, and it was the big craze. It was all techno music.
Mm-hmm. So was it just you guys choreographing yourselves?
Yes.
We all did it together. We would all come up with I would do a count of 8, and Michael would do a count of 8, and Randy would do a count of 8, and then Joey would do a count of 8.
I'm gonna show that now. By the way, I just when you watch this, I was a classical piano major, and I was always terrified during my recitals, when I'd have to play the big scale, and I wish I could have opted out of it. You guys actually Michael, you're why don't I add 3 backflips? Weren't you panicked? I would never do that. I'd be I'll do a somersault max.
Honestly, I don't think we knew any better. We were having a great time. We were let's just do everything we can. And because Randy and I were both gymnasts first, and Scott was a beautiful technician, and Joey was a beautiful technician, and Randy was sort of in the middle of everybody, we just did what we did best. And they were do more. And then as soon as we won that first episode, and they were we like you guys, we were let's do more of that. Let's do all the same stuff and do more of that.
Oh, that's fun.
So, Michael, you're in the yellow, right, Michael?
Yes.
We were the gay flag before the gay flag.
We were the rainbow flag. And Scotty,
color.
I was going to say, Scott, you're doing an amazing penché. The first move is full penché.
Wasn't that, you know what? Yeah. Let me say this. I was the only one who didn't tumble. And for years after that, everyone thought I tumbled because everyone was flipping all around me. So it actually was a curse because I would go to auditions. They'd be like, oh, you tumble, right? And I'd be like, no, I don't tumble.
We're but I spin like a top and I'm a gunny.
I know how to stand on 0 and watch people tumbling. All right, here, let's take a gander.
Oh, good.
The champions from round 2 are from New York.
Hi, I'm Randy Wojcik.
Scott Fowler.
I'm Michael Berresse.
Randy Berresse.
Joey Peasy.
Welcome, boys back east.
so scary. It's so good. And your spacing is like on point the whole time.
Meanwhile, do you remember how hard that floor was?
Oh my God. I just remember being so sick to my stomach because, you know, you had one shot to get it right. And if you didn't get it right, you didn't get it right. It was live and it was scary. And, yeah.
Hey, you know what? Remind everyone, because it's been a while since I've seen Star Search, and people I'm sure that are watching have never seen it. How does it work? How was the audition process, and who votes?
Right? Who are the celebrity judges?
So for us, we had Julia Prowse. We had who was the hair guy? He would always wear the cowboy hats. Gilbert.
The hair guy.
The hair guy.
Was Vidal Sassoon one of our judges?
No, it was
I know who you're talking about.
Jose Hebert. Rosie Perez was one of our judges.
Rosie, she's a good friend.
Yeah, she was one of our judges. And I think
I'd known that, we would have had her on.
Yeah, I mean, I was most impressed that Julia Prowse was one of our judges.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then so you're up against another dance group and you get ranked between 1 and 4 and they average the 4 scores. So what was your, usually it's like 3.5, 3.75. What were you?
Usually a 4.
Yes, well deserved. And how far did you get? You got to the finals and then
we won, Seth.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know I've all
You didn't know. I thought that was the
acting like and we
I thought that's why we were here. We were the grand champions.
Oh my God, I really didn't know that.
And wait a minute, but what does that mean? What does that get? Money? What did you get?
It means we split $100,000 between us.
That much money?
Yes, in 1992, which was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Billy Porter, was the male vocalist on our season, and he won, and he got to take that check home by himself.
Yes, he did.
He got all new teeth, he said.
But wait a minute. You went from a fluke that you would have been just happy to have been there making the trip once to $25,000 each.
20. There were 5 of us.
Well, I think after taxes, I think I still have the stub. I think it was like 12,000 after taxes that we each got.
Amazing.
Well, and Michael, do you remember what your salary was for Forever Plaid? Because I remember.
I'm gonna say it was probably like $335.
Yeah, $335 a week.
Yeah, it was a step up.
Okay, so before you go, I just want
cool.
to show everybody your signature step. I don't know if you remember it. It was basically you turned your back to the audience, showed your ass, did the whole I'm sweating in front, and then died.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah,
We did it in every single routine.
It was signature. Let's take a gander. So it's ass, sweat, death.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that makes me happy.
So good. All right, boys. It was so lovely having you here. You guys are so talented. Oh my God, you guys are just amazing. Thank you so much. Scotty, I want to have a Jerome Robbins reunion. You did that show on Broadway, right?
Yeah, this was my first Broadway show.
Okay, so we'll talk about that.
That's the first time I ever saw Scott Fowler on stage, and I was so thrilled when Randy said that Scott was going to do this for us because I don't know. I mean, honestly, looking back, we all sort of were just doing our thing in New York. But when you put us together, it was really special. And we didn't know that until we were together. And everybody brought something different. And it was the whole thing was like a fever dream. I looking back on it now, I can barely believe that it actually happened.
I totally get it. And Berresse, I'm going to bring you back. I just realized I've never done a Forever Plaid reunion. I did that show for like 1,000 years.
Gosh,
I know,
that's
so
right.
You're both coming back. All right, peace out, Scotty. Peace out, Michael. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you both.
Bye, Berresse. Gong, gong,
That
gong,
is
gong,
so
gong.
fun.
Okay, let me go to Star Search Junior, and then I'm going to bring on the oldies. So here's Mr. Marty Thomas.
Hi, Marty.
Junior. Hi, Marty.
How are you?
So, these clowns were on Broadway when they did Star Search. You were like living on a farm or something, weren't you?
No, I was also on Broadway.
Girl, I thought you were. Oh, no, you were on a farm before Broadway. Is that it?
Yeah. When I did my first episode of Star Search, it was with Boys Back East. I had a giant crush on all of them. And Billy Porter. We were all on the same episode.
Oh my God, it was all the early. I can't. It's so
Wow.
funny because I didn't know you, but I was taping it because Billy was on it and Michael was on it, and then I remember watching your competition. I didn't realize it was you, but I remember watching the I Don't Care. You're the girl we'll discuss later. So Marty Thomas, so how did you get Star Search? Did you just send an audition tape? What happened?
Yeah, every Saturday, everybody who watched the show knew that at the end of the show, they would say, if you'd like to be on the show, if you think you've got what it takes, send a tape to blah, 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 blah in Hollywood, California. And of course, it's like pipe dream for farm kid like me, but I would literally make cassette tapes in my little Casio every Saturday and mail them in. And once in 88 or 89, I got a call to come do the show. And I was doing a musical. I was doing Wizard of Oz at Starlight Theater in Kansas City, and they wouldn't let me go, which was just a Somersault contract. But what do you do?
Hold on. Forever Plaid in New York would let Michael Berresse go, but the Munchkin track was too important to Wizard of Oz?
Yep, exactly. Specifically, the Munchkin track. So we had to turn it down and just say you can't do everything. And a few years later, I booked The Secret Garden in New York, and my mom found out that Star Search had a New York office, so she took a cassette down to the office in person and just walked in all bold, and who was going to tell her otherwise? And she said, you chose my son a few years ago, or would you still be interested in him being on the show? And they were like, she said it was kind of creepy because it seemed like everybody just stood still because they were like, junior vocalist? Yeah, give it to us. So I got a call a few nights later from casting. I thought it was my brother punking me, and I hung up on him 3 times saying they were Star Search. Finally, they were like, don't hang up. It's really Star Search. And they were asking me to come do the final episode of the 92 season.
That is so crazy.
But Marty, do you think that they were doing that because they really needed junior vocalists, or because you were the only one who had ever turned them down?
I
knew who you were.
I highly doubt that, because I feel like every performer that was on alive in the 80s and 90s were sending in tapes or going to their live calls. But there were no live calls anywhere near me. I was from the middle of nowhere. When we got to New York, my mom just felt like this is our only chance if this dream is ever going to happen. So I think it must have just been that somebody bailed at the last minute and they desperately needed somebody, but I'll never know.
Right.
So here's that clown who I was saying was Marty's competition. Let's take a gander at this hack. She's fine. Well, first of all, by the way, I have to say though, she didn't pick a show-offy enough song that week. She should have, because you belted your face off, and that's why you did so well. She was way too mellow. How did you know to do Sam Harris style high notes?
Because of Sam Harris. He's the reason I sing like this. I was obsessed with Sam Harris and Linda Eder. They were my 2 Star Search idols. I couldn't get enough. I studied every second of everything they did. Sam Harris and basically Michael Bolton were my trope. I just knew the formula because I had watched it every week. And there's got to be that big moment, and you got to stand and hold your ground and hope that the crowd claps for you, because if they don't, you're probably not going to win.
Marty, would you tape the show and watch them over and over again to study?
Oh, yeah. I watched them on repeat. And like after I had done an episode, I watched Boys Back East videos for maybe a decade, breaking down their choreography and learning it and thinking I was just the hippest ever. Just dance classes by Boys Back East. And then many years later, I went on to, I've done a couple of records with Randy Bettis from Boys Back East. And I knew him as a friend. And in his home studio, I was looking around and I saw his Star Search wall. And I was like, did you do Star Search? He said, yeah, I was in a boy band dance troupe. And I said, are you Boys Back East? Freaked me out. And then they posted about Star Search a few weeks ago, and he tagged Michael. And my mind was blown again because I had no idea.
Oh my God! So you literally you became an adult in the Broadway world and didn't know that these boys back east were like the Broadway world.
Yeah, it's crazy. And a couple of days ago, a photo came out, like an alleyway photo at St. James Theater that was at the Gypsy of the Year competition. And I'm going through the picture and I'm seeing all the boys back east and Billy Porter and me and all the girls from pageant. And it was like,
oh, because you were in Secret Garden at the time.
mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember that Gypsy of the Year. That's when pageant and Forever Plaid combined. I was in the audience for that. Everybody knows everybody. All right, so here's your high note. By the way, I tested on the piano. It's an E. Still got it. Here we go. Okay, you nailed the E, and then I was watching when they read the score at the end. Did they tell you like whatever you do, have a plastic smile because you're literally like you have a riveted smile?
Well, my big sister, and really we didn't have Google, so our access to performance was my sister in the Miss America pageants and Star Search. That was it. That was all I had. We never got, I did a little theater, but we didn't ever go to the theater.
Right.
We were so unexposed to things. So I thought, do what the pageant girls do. And literally, if you're watching it and you know anything about pageants, you're like, wow, what a tiny homosexual. Because I do the face. I can't believe it happened to me. I'm smiling. But halfway through the scoring, when I watch it, I vaguely remember just being like, oh, this is over. This is very embarrassing, because she got 3 3/4 stars, and you can kind of see my smile going from to what the hell's happening next.
Wait, you thought you weren't going to win?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, because 3 3/4 stars sounded so high, you thought there's no way you could ever beat that.
Right. And to be honestly, Brittany was so good and groomed and had been in dance classes since she was born, and she was never not performing and never not. Her life looked very exotic to me at the time, because she was just living the life and go, even though I was currently doing a Broadway musical.
Right.
Everything good that ever happened to me was always an accident.
What farm did you grow up on?
Trenton, Missouri.
Well, let me show you your win. So this is Miss Missouri, Plastic Smile, and then it's so lovely. Take a gander.
Next year is our champion, either Britney Spears, who receives 3 3/4 stars, or challenger Marty Thomas, who receives 4 stars. Perfect score. All right.
Oh,
It's sweet.
I'm so glad you set that up, Marty. You can see every second of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you wind up winning?
I mean, the kids' grand finale. I didn't win the grand finale. I won. I was the last champion of 92. So I went on to 93 to be the first champion of the season. But between 92 and 93, there was a dramatic explosion in Star Search. So there was a giant break between the end of the 92 season and the beginning of the 93, and they moved production to Florida. And then they started airing the show every day, like weekdays at noon.
Oh.
So no one watched it, and it really didn't last.
Wow.
But you got some cash, though, didn't you?
I mean, SAG scale. Because the kids, like the adults, if you win the grand finale, they got $100,000. The kids got $10,000, and I didn't win the grand finale.
Oh.
So we got SAG scale for performing, which to me, I would have given them both my kidneys to perform on that show.
Just to have been on it. That was winning for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
God, well, we both would have died to be on that show.
Of course.
I've
All right,
always
Mar-
been that way with performing. I'm just always so grateful to be invited anywhere, and so happy that anybody wanted me in the room. I'm always ready to pay somebody to let me just participate. I love performing.
When I would pick up my check on Broadway, I always would feel guilty. It's so weird. They'd always be like, "Here's your check," and I'd be like, "It's okay." It was I was the same way. I was always embarrassed. All right, Marty, it's so great seeing you as usual, and that was an amazing high E. Still got it.
Thank you so much. I love you guys.
Bye, lady.
Bye, Marty.
All right, we got to take our medical break, and then we're gonna do, some more.
We got some
Starfest
donations, but we wanted to save them for.
Yeah, we'll save them. We'll do it. We'll read them on the next one. But keep
Okay.
sending those receipts. Keep sending those receipts to donations@StarsInTheHouse.com, and then we'll forward. But let's have a quick medical break from Dr. John CBS Lear Pook.
Hey guys, yeah, I'll take the Lear.
Which, by the way, David, our wonderful tech guru, said that today's the anniversary of All in the Family.
Is it the 50th anniversary today? Oh, could be the 12th. I think that's true. January 12th. Wow. You know what, David? I just texted you a 45-second it's actually 31 seconds. It's the beginning of CBS Sunday Morning. There's a little clip.
He's gonna upload it
with all the. Or maybe already uploaded.
No, he's.
I just sent literally 45 seconds. I don't want to give him enough time for a lead time.
So, Dr. Pook, I should have uploaded my photos, but I forgot. I didn't even tell you. My mom got the vaccine yesterday. I can't even tell how happy I am.
And here's the great full circle moment. We didn't realize, because I was driving Seth and his mom, because Seth went in, that it was literally at Beth Israel Hospital, which is where Seth was born. So it was literally taking his mother to the hospital where he was born.
She took me from that hospital. I brought her to the hospital. Yes, at Beth Israel.
And then she's reborn in a way, giving her
such a relief, such an effing relief. Yeah. So, but by the way, I keep reading doctors, nurses, so many people are hesitant. Can you just one more time tell people it is not a vaccine that was created in 3 months? It's driving me crazy.
Right. No, it's here's where it's coming from, is that people say, when something new comes out, let's just wait let it be out there for a while. Let me just make sure there are no side effects. Okay. That's when there's no pandemic going on. Here, this is basically research that's based on 30 years of research. In the early 2000s, when the first SARS came along, it took 20 months to make a vaccine that was then ready to be tested. And over the years, 11 months and 6 months and 3 months for Zika, 2 months for this, because they make these platforms. I won't get into what it is, but basically it's the ability to make it faster and faster without compromising anything in terms of safety. It's just like you have a factory. I love this Francis Collins thing. You have a factory. It's making widgets. You want to make a new widget. You don't have to get a new building and new people and new assembly line. Just make a new mold, and then you'll have a new widget. That's what they do when there's a new virus. They take the genetic information that's important. They unscrew the old genetic information. They put in the new genetic information. Done. So this one in 2 months was ready to go, but absolutely was not rushed. It was just a matter of, that's where the science is right now. And it's a complete game changer. After that, testing it, cutting the red tape, working around the clock, that all happened because it's a pandemic and people are testing it more carefully, but no corners were cut. This has been told to me by a lot of people who I trust, including Francis Collins, who's the head of the NIH, Tony Fauci, and other people who have really lifted up the hood and looked underneath the hood at everything that's going on. And I've looked at a lot of the data too. The bottom line is there is no doubt in my mind that the benefits far, far, far outweigh the risks. And right now, you've got 300,000 people a day getting infected. That's the equivalent of 300,000 people getting the vaccine, right? They're going to be immunized, but that's not the way you want to immunize people. Right. You've got all this vaccine that's flooding the market now. It's going to be more and more and more. Johnson & Johnson is going to come aboard. AstraZeneca is going to come aboard. There's going to be other vaccines. Today, you heard 65. It's being released to people 65 and over. Right. If you're in a state and you don't know whether you're supposed to get it, I must have gotten 100 phone calls today and emails. Contact either your physician, or the first thing maybe is contact the local health department, the state health department, and there may be something you can click on and just sign up for it.
Yeah, when I signed my mom up, it was like, are you and there were lots of options you could be. Teacher, like work in a homeless shelter, like grocery clerk. There were just tons of things you could be.
But that said, it's definitely a frustrating process. I mean, because look, Andrea Martin, she went online, couldn't find everything that's said online for New York at least was available, and it really wasn't. My mom called in our area, nothing. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's not that you shouldn't get it, of course, but it's a lot.
It's more work than doing. Now, I'm going to end with a really good, uplifting, amazing, miraculous story. Are you tempted to hear this? This happened today. This happened today. Real life. I got involved with an 83-year-old man who had COVID, diagnosed yesterday. He was really quite sick, but not sick enough yet to be hospitalized. So because he was an outpatient, and because we thought he was probably headed in the wrong direction, you want to get him these monoclonal antibodies. The monoclonal antibodies, which gobble up the virus, hopefully in that first phase before you get to the second phase of inflammation, you can only get it right now as an outpatient. So it's kind of a weird thing. If you're sick enough to be in the hospital, you can't get it. Anyway, long story short, maybe it's too late for that already, but we pulled a lot of, we made a lot of phone calls, and we finally got him the monoclonal antibodies in the afternoon, yesterday afternoon. Several hours later, he crashed. His blood pressure dropped. He became confused. He was admitted to the hospital and got some antibiotics and fluid and other things. But today, and we all think it's because of the monoclonal antibodies, he's well, and he's going home tomorrow probably. So, folks, there's certain criteria for the monoclonal antibody. You have to be a certain, have some underlying illness, maybe, hypertension or atherosclerotic disease, or maybe be elderly or be immunosuppressed or there are lots of criteria. But if you are somebody who has been diagnosed with COVID, and you think that you're in one of these categories, you can just look it up online, the CDC. Contact your doctor, and you may be able to get this outpatient monoclonal antibody treatment, and it's amazing.
Wow.
So it's a brand new treatment that actually works.
This is the same thing that Trump got.
And it's finally available for non-presidents.
Right,
Excellent.
non-presidents.
Okay, I'm going to show, we watched your amazing CBS Sunday morning piece on your father-in-law, Norman Lear. Here's the fabulous teaser for it.
Then we turn from events in Washington to visit with Norman Lear, the celebrated producer of some of our most beloved television shows. Not to mention the father-in-law of our own Dr. John LaPook.
The very first script from All in the Family.
Oh, for crying out loud.
At the age of 98, the producer who changed the face of television is still going strong.
What makes you tick?
I have 6 children and 4 grandchildren. They all make me tick. Having finished this sentence and heard me say, make me tick, makes me tick.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We spend 2 weeks at home with Norman Lear, later on Sunday morning. I thought you would like good morning, good morning.
I was like, of course that's John LaPook. I loved it.
And you got a shout out from one of our viewers. The Norman Lear piece was wonderful. His last few statements were so powerful, not afraid of where he may be going, but he's afraid to leave. Had me crying.
He said, I don't mind the going, it's the leaving. He said, if you're going, who knows what's out there? It couldn't be all bad. Literally said that. That's such a Norman Lear. Talking about death. It couldn't be all bad. But he doesn't like the idea of leaving.
It was a great piece. It was so uplifting, and I've got to move into that house. All right. Thank you, Dr. LaPook. We will see you mañana.
Oh,
and you're right. It is the 50th anniversary today.
And I don't know if you heard at the top of the show, but Grey's Anatomy is going to be here on Thursday. So you've got 11 TV doctors to deal with.
I got a bone to pick with them.
Okay.
Well, okay.
About the reality. The reality.
Shit.
We may have to talk offline with Dr. LaPook.
Oh, God. Okay, bye, Dr. LaPook. Oh, shit. Okay, here's another amazing female vocalist. My good pal.
Hi, Mandy.
She was in the very first season. Mandy's here. Please welcome the brilliant Miss Penny Mealing.
Hi, Penny.
Hi. How are you guys?
Hi, Penny. It's so interesting. All these people that have been on, Star Search was such a big deal when they joined. You were on the first season. How did you even know about it?
You guys, I feel so old right now. They're talking about 1992, and I'm like, no, it was 83. 1983 was the year I was on. And wow, I feel old. How did I find out? I had an agent in LA. I don't know how I got him. But the reason I got on was because, believe it or not, in 1981 to 1983, I was a bunny. Don't tell my mom. And I did a song in costume.
Playboy Bunny. People don't know.
Yeah. And it was for the Playboy Channel. And they recorded me singing. And I'm telling you, in my costume, in my bunny costume, I have to look for that video. And they sent that to Star Search. And that's how I got on.
Oh, my gosh.
Embarrassing.
You know what? We all need gigs. If people want to hear Penny, I'm going to play some of Penny right now. What I'm shocked about Penny, like the way Michael Berresse was doing the flipping, you picked the highest keys, and you like Sam Harris. You guys, there's no nervousness. You're just like going for the notes. And by the way, you're also like Sam Harris because you're wearing a tuxedo.
And
let's take it.
Hold on, but Penny, is this your first song that you?
No, I just picked Home.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Home. Okay, great.
Might be a fantasy, but it's taught me to love. So it's real, for me. I've learned nothing but to desire to find a world of love like yours, like mine.
Wow.
You know, I don't know if you could tell, but I was crying when I was singing that. And I don't know if you know, but I'm a crier. I cry all the time. I'm crying right now. If you are singing, if I'm singing and I'm crying, it doesn't come out normally. But I was crying because I happened to see somebody in the audience who was just sitting there like this. Back then, the audience was very small, very small. So they might have had canned applause or something like that, but it was so small. And I happened to catch somebody who was just like, you could tell they were rooting for you and you could really see them. And I just was like, oh, you're so sweet. And so I was listening to what I was singing and I started to cry. You can see a little glisten, I think, in my eyes. It was just, I was so grateful to get through it because I think somebody said it earlier, you had one shot, that was it. You could not redo anything. That was live. That was it. Even in 1983, that was it.
Penny, does anyone help coach you to like cut it down? Because that's a long song to cut it down to what they need.
At the time, I had a musical director in New York, and Barry Levitt, fabulous. I worked with him on many things, since passed away, but I owe a lot to him. We got the criteria was it had to be a certain length. So I would sit with Barry, we would work it out, and then we would send a cassette tape. Remember those? Cassette tape has tape in it. And then we mailed that overnight, which cost about $8 million because it had to go in a little box on an airplane. And they literally got a cassette tape of me every other week. They sent, we had to send 2 songs in case you kept going. So that's what we did. We had already cut it. And then Joey Carbone and his band would record our version. And then they would, lip sync their part.
Oh, they instrument it?
Yeah, they didn't play live, the instruments. They pre-recorded the music.
And
then I sang live. So,
oh, yeah. That I can tell.
Yeah.
It's so raw. Now, before I play more clips, what about those? The show began to get so big, these mega stars just started introducing you. Did you freak out being introduced by these stars?
Oh my God, yes, it was. Irene Cara did one week and Doc Severinsen did another week. It was bad enough that Ed McMahon was the host. But downstairs, when we had all the dressing rooms and stuff, during the finals, Dionne Warwick came over to me, and I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak. So many people, I wasn't used to that. I mean, a lot of the people you talked to earlier had come from professional careers like that. I came from waitressing, so essentially.
Penny, how were you able to go up there and sing after having just met Dionne Warwick, for example, and not freak out? Did you just have to disassociate or what?
No, you're in the moment, and I had sung my whole life. I was, always a singer. So the singing was the last thing I thought about. I wasn't worried about that part. Now that's the thing. I'm like, oh, will I be able to do it? Do I have to warm up? Whatever.
Right.
But back then, it was just part of you, of who you were, and you got up there and you did it. In one show, my dress broke, so I had to hold on to it while I was singing. And something always happened. There was feedback in the beginning of God Bless a Child. That I don't know how they cut that out, but we had to keep going. So there was, I had a lot of issues.
Here's your God Bless the Child, which, by the way, again, the bravery, you have such a crazy high note in this, which, by the way, you vibrato. I was like, she's hitting this high note and she's vibratoing.
Daddy, he may have it too. God bless the child that's got it.
Wow.
What was it?
That was an A.
That was fear, Seth. Fear will make you do things.
But it's technique. I mean, you're able to do it, though, with vibrato. You have the technique.
It's fear, just pure fear. There were only 45, maybe 50 people in the audience, and 4 judges, brightly lit, and you just stand there and you deliver, and you don't think about it because, it was all new. That was my very first show. It was all new to me. The lights, the cameras, okay, you have one shot, go. Okay. You do rehearse at some rehearsal studio, like a day before. So they tell you about marking and stuff like that, but that was it.
Here's one of your famous intros.
From Westbury, Long Island, Penny Mealing.
Eddie Gibb, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Pamela, before you go, I'm going to show the song that got you Star Search in the first place. And by the way, this is from Dreamgirls. Did you ever get to go in for Dreamgirls after people saw you singing this? Did you ever get an audition for it?
No. Mm-mm.
Girl, okay, listen how amazing.
Seth. Mm-mm.
Too white.
No.
They really thought
Too light.
No, I never auditioned for it, but I did audition for The Wiz back in my time. And they told me that I did not look the part. So.
You know what? I've had it with everybody.
But
Here you go, and you
was,
sound amazing.
This was almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
Son of a. All right, well, anyway, you won. Here, listen how amazing you sound.
I'm not living without you. I don't want to be free. I'm staying, and you're gonna love me. Yeah, I'm knocking, yeah, scream and shout like you can say what you want. I'm not walking out. Down on the river, we striking hill. I'm not gonna leave ya. There's no way I will. And I am telling you, I'm not going. 'Cause you're the best man I'll ever know. There's no way I can ever go. No way living without you. Oh, I'm not living without you. Not living without you. I don't wanna be free. I'm staying. I knew. You're gonna love me.
Wow.
Oh, my God. I wish I could hit those notes now, boy.
You still got to do it. Hey, listen, Penny, before you go, check your cell phone because I want you to read some donations we got. Do you have your cell phone with you?
Oh, yeah.
Read the 2 donations we got.
Let's see. Seth Saltzman. Hi. Nathan from New York City, $25. Thank you all for all you do. Seth Saltzman. Oh, Seth Saltzman. Ah, we went to school together. $25. Thank you, Seth and James. This is in honor of my Berkeley pal, Penny Mealing, and in memory of her friend, Michael.
I know, but that I didn't expect. Oh, it's sad. Yeah, so that's the part we're leaving out of that. Penny was very close to my brother. Yeah.
Very good friends. Very good friends.
All right, I did not read that before. Oh man. Okay, well, it was very sweet.
I told you I cry so easily.
I know, I didn't know that was going to happen either.
Seth, I remember him kicking you out of the room when we were practicing. I remember it so clearly. He's like, "Get out of here!" Lovingly, of course.
He was 9 years older.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very exciting watching when I was a kid on the show. I was flipping out over it.
Yeah. That's fabulous. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for being here. And sorry to drop that bomb on you at the very end. Okay, we'll recover. Bye, Penny.
Okay, love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love you, Penny.
Bye.
Okay, well, that was unexpected, but that was very, very sweet.
I think Mandy wants
Mandy
to...
does not like. Okay, it's gonna be okay. Okay, so let's cleanse the palate. And actually, before I do, I'm gonna bring on Scott for a second. Scotty, I'm gonna have to email this to you. Hold on, Scott, because I want you to read a donation. So hold on 1 second. Scott Fowler, please check your email. Fowler. Hold on. I'm sorry for this long pause. James cover. That's your version of cover?
Mandy is not letting me. Mandy does not like seeing Seth cry or tear up, or she actually just knows when emotion is happening.
Yeah, she does not. She gets
her way of trying to fix things.
Yes.
Which is
okay. Hold on.
Not very helpful.
I just want you to read this. God, Mandy, it's okay, honey. It's actually distracting and annoying. Okay, hold on. I got to bring Rosie on in a second because she's got to watch Rachel Maddow, and I totally get it.
Okay.
So hold on, Scott. Just read this. Okay, and then I'm gonna bring Rosie on. Scotty, read. You're gonna love this. Check your email, lady.
I'm checking it. What a great show. So fun.
Right? Such crazy talent.
Nothing's coming up.
No, not in your email?
Well, Scott, hang out and then... Oh, you got it? Okay.
Here it is. Got it. Downloading.
Mandy.
Here, I'll go get it.
Donations. Mark from Massachusetts, $50. Happy to donate. Reminder to sign up for your doctor's health portal. That's how you'll know when you can get a vaccine and how you will likely schedule it. Thanks to all the stars. Randy Wojcik. Greetings from Hong Kong. Just caught you all on the Seth and donated $500 in honor of our dearly missed Darlene Wilson.
Oh, wow.
Seth and James, keep making the world a better place. Cheers and love to my fellow boys back east, hoodlums. You know, I did 42nd Street with Darlene Wilson.
And I did correspond with her. Okay. Everyone's devastated. Scotty, thank you for being here. Thank you, Randy, for donating. Rosie, I'm going to bring you on because I know you've got to watch your leftist liberal show. Roseanne O'Donnell.
My Maddow. I got to watch Maddow. First of all, I want to
totally get it.
I had no idea that Britney Spears was on Star Search. I had no idea Linda Eder was on Star Search. I loved hearing the Broadway Boys story. What an amazing story that is. And the whole thing, I'm so proud of the gays. Look how good we've done on Star Search. Everyone gay except the last guest, I think.
Penny, yeah, but there's still time. Okay, so Rosie, that's she loves. She's laughing. Rosie, how did you get it? Because you weren't famous. You weren't on Broadway yet. Where were you then?
No. I was in a stand-up comedy club right near my house, and the kid in my high school, his older brother owned it. So I was going on a lot as the MC, and this woman came over and said, Ed McMahon is my dad, and I'm going to get you on Star Search. And I was like, yeah, right. And she's like, no, give me your phone number. And so I was living at home with my dad. I gave her the phone number, and she called the next day, and the show called from LA and said, you're going to go to Los Angeles, bring 2 outfits to wear in case you win. And so I went. I hope you have a clip. Do you have the clip of me in the horrible gray Willie Wear suit?
The only one I could find, and I have you when you came back after Give Me a Break. I kept searching for the early one.
Oh, God. The first one, I went to Macy's. I had no money. I bought a gray Willie Wear suit and then a pale pink rodeo shirt. And I had high heels on because I thought I had to wear high heels. It looks like a little lesbian in drag. Like the whole thing. It's so wrong. I have a mullet. It was the height of wrongness. But I won. And then I won the next week and I had no money. So they would give you per diem, and that's what I would use to get my clothes. And I would walk from the Hyatt on Sunset to the Carney's hot dogs, and I would get a hot dog and French fries for lunch. And then I would walk down to Esprit and see what I could fit in because I was losing weight. I was there like you were there every week. Like if you won on a Wednesday, you had to stay till the next Wednesday. That's a lot of time in a hotel by yourself when you're 22. You know, I didn't know anyone in Los Angeles. I had only done stand-up in New York, and that was on Long Island in my hometown club. So the chances of that happening were like totally random and obscure. But I was a huge fan of it. In fact, I saw Sam when I was doing Star Search, and he was there. I was eating at the California Pizza Kitchen, and he walked by, and I completely fangirled on him. And, you know, he was superstar famous from that show. There were only 3 networks. Star Search came on the 5th when we kicked off this whole concept of another network, and he was a big ass superstar. And he made that whole show. If it hadn't been for him, I don't think it would have run for as many. Like, and Marty talking about him, you know, impersonating him, and I mean, he set the standard, right? And everybody wanted to do a Sam Harris for themselves and their career. And I'm so proud of him. You know, he's a writer, he's a singer, he's a playwright, he's a dad, he's a husband, he's an amazing friend. You know, I really, really love the guy. And to think he and I started in 1984, our careers together on the same show. And here we are, close friends, all these years later. We're going to be 60.
I got to bring him on. Sammy, what do you think?
Hi, honey. Hi, Danny.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just so touched, Rosie. Oh, my God.
But it's so true. It's so true. I'm so proud of you.
I love
who
you.
you are as a man and how you behave in your life and career. You really are amazing, Sam.
Well, you know, Seth and you guys, Ro and I have, you know, we did Grease together. We've maintained this relationship through marriages and divorces and children. In fact, Ro, you, as you very well know, you were responsible for us getting Cooper because you finally talked Danny into adopting a child. And
I remember.
If not for you, and then of course you tried to kill Cooper in your pool.
I like them to learn to swim in my pool so they don't drown.
She said, if you take them under, they're perfectly comfortable. And I'm like, no, please don't take it.
And he was fine.
He was fine.
Was he? Rosie, I got to show you a clip. Hold on. This is right after you won. And I love that you have material for the specific moment of Ed McMahon introducing you.
Let's welcome her back. Here's Rosie O'Donnell.
Stage where I lost $100,000. It's all right, I'm in therapy, I'm over it. Ed McMahon was real nice to me, though. After I lost, he sent me a letter. It was real nice. He said, "Dear Rosie, you may have already won $10 million in the American Family Sweepstakes." You know, that's the kind of guy he is. He's like that. He's a knucklehead. But it really did help my career doing Star Search. After I did the show, I was up for a part in a movie. They said, "You can have the part. Can you drop the New York accent?" I said, "Sure." But the only way I can drop the New York accent is if I open my eyes really wide and actually think about everything I'm saying. The only problem is I can't act this way. The only thing I could be is a contestant in the Miss America pageant.
That is so funny.
I was that by then I was calm. That wasn't one of my 6 times of would I win or would I lose every week, worrying and wondering.
I mean, you know what? You were always a great writer. You were always a great writer. You looked at your life. You looked at what was funny because that's what we do to survive.
Right.
You made it into funny and it was all real. Every one of those jokes was actually, came from
that happened. Exactly. Yeah. It was a nerve-wracking show. I mean, I don't know for you, Sam, but for me, it was so nerve-wracking every week. And you had a clock that said 90 seconds and it counted down in front of you, a digital clock. So as you're doing your stand-up, you see, and if you go over, you were penalized. So, you had to say goodnight, like right before the zero.
We didn't have that because we had, a track.
Yeah, right. So a track, right. And remember, there were actors and actresses.
What was that? Nobody remembers that. Everybody thinks that it was a singing comic show. And
Right, no. There was acting.
It was the same boring scene twice. And Rosie, what did you do with the money when you won? Because
I moved out to LA. I won $28,000 or something, and I ended up moving out to California and getting my first apartment and starting to work at all the clubs in LA. And from Star Search, I became a headliner in the South and places I had never been before as a comic. I had only mostly worked the East Coast. But after Star Search, I was getting jobs everywhere. So I could work, 50 weeks a year. And for many years, I did that.
But I mean, so it really did what it set out to do as
For
far
me,
as
100%. 100%.
That's really nice. And how, Julie, when you went out there, how did you have enough material every week? Because you have to have basically your best jokes every week. Did anybody help you write them?
At the very end, Jeanette Barber, I called her up and I said, Jeanette, can I use this joke of yours and this joke of yours? I can write a tagline around. She said, you use anything of mine that you want.
Wow.
And so that was the last episode when I really was out of material. I mean, that was, 90 minutes and I was young. I had not lived enough to write that good material, So it was trippy. And then all of a sudden I was a headliner and I had to have 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So I had to write it was all about Star Search. I talked all about Star Search.
So smart. It's so smart. I'm going to show one more bit of yours and you can go to your Precious Rachel Maddow, which I know you love. Hold on, here we go.
It was fun to do. My family got a big kick out of me being on the show. I have a 4-year-old brother who's now convinced he's going to be a comic. He tries to tell me jokes. Have you ever had a 4-year-old tell you a joke? Takes about 2 hours, has no semblance or order, wanders aimlessly. You have to know when it's over. Rosie, I heard one school right on the market said go. There was a big fat hairy monster, right? And one of the fat corner on the phone said, hey, Stephen Monster, if you don't shut up, He-Man's gonna come see by the power of great skull. I have the power. And you're gonna be really careful. You're gonna say, Mommy, I'm afraid of a big fat monster. And she'll say, no, he's not, because, then there was, okay, wait a second. Let me start over.
Okay, there you go.
Is that Danny you're talking about, who's 4 years old?
It's Timmy, but it was really my goddaughter who was a little girl but I had done these jokes about how I had all little brothers and they would play with my tampons, which my little baby brothers did, and shoot them into they were bombs in the pool. And, they were playing with army men because the sanitary napkins float, so they put their army men on them and they'd be like shooting me, So I did a whole bit about that. So I made it my baby brother, but I didn't have a baby brother.
Okay.
And you didn't do tampons on Star Search, dear, did you?
I think I might have. No way. It was 84. No way.
That noise.
It was 1984. Think of that. 1984.
Wow. I was still in high
And here
school.
we are, honey.
Yes. 1984, when there were virtually no gay people on TV besides Charles Nelson Riley.
That's right.
Yeah, you guys were all trailblazers. All right, Rosie, you go whenever the hell you want. I'm going to show some Sam clips.
Goodbye.
All right, Sam, I love you. I'll call you this week.
I'll call you later. All
All
right.
right, bye.
Bye, Ro.
Sammy,
you continue with Sam because Mandy is
She's going
acting the hell.
He's leaving me. He's
What'd you say?
leaving.
What'd you say?
He's leaving me. He left.
No,
me.
he's getting vegetables for her because she's acting crazy. She comes
Okay.
out with vegetables. So first of all, here's just one of your signature amazing high notes. This is what you've started this trend, which of course an American Idol took, which is like have an amazing high note in the middle of a song and get applause. And it became your signature. Here we go.
I noticed that.
It's an F.
No kidding.
That is crazy. So how did you get it, Sammy? You were a Playboy bunny, I know. And then what happened?
Yes. No, the way that I got on the show was I was living in Los Angeles and playing like all these horrible little dumps and dive places. And it was the first season. Hello, I'm so glad you could come back. It was the first season.
It was either going to be that or it was going to be this the whole time from Seth.
Me turning around because she's crazy.
Oh, and there she is again.
Crazy. Okay, gosh, you're playing dumps and dives.
Anyway, yeah, I was playing all these nasty places, sort of, discovering myself and failing and trying things and whatever. And I kind of had it together at that point because I'd been doing it a long time. And they had talent scouts. It was the first season. So they had talent scouts that were going out and listening because, it meant nothing. I didn't know what it was. So they called me they asked me if I could come in, and I did. And you guys, this is how rudimentary it was. There was a room that was probably like 10 by 12, and there were 5 or 6 people in it. And I sang in the door frame, and the piano was in the hall. It wasn't even like a production room. They didn't even rent Debbie Reynolds' studio. It was just this little office with all these people. I couldn't even fit in the room. And the pianist was in the hall, and I sang I'm Changing, and they were like, no, we reject you. And so 3 weeks later, I got this call that said, we've reconsidered. There were 2 people at the show, Steve Stark and Jan Wallner, I will never forget them, who said, you know what, I think he might have something. Yes, he's different. Yes, he's not like cookie cutter, whatever, pop, whatever. But I think he's, let's look at him. So they asked me to be on the show. And, at that age, ignorance is such bliss. And they let us choose our own material.
Oh.
We're coming into this big sort of commissary where everybody was eating lunch. And they said, let us see what you're going to wear. And I held up, this tattered tuxedo coat and a little dickie, and but they didn't. It was new and fresh and stupid, and they didn't say, you know what, that's gonna look dumb.
Why did you choose a tuxedo coat with sneakers?
I had been wearing that. I had been doing this show called Out of Control in a 50-seat theater in Los Angeles for 6 months, and it was at 11 o'clock at night. And it became kind of a thing, and it started to get noticed. But that's when I discovered that costume. And I think it was because I always felt fat. And so I wanted to be in oversized things. And plus I was influenced by, Charlie Chaplin and, the sort of misfit clowns. So I think that's where that came from.
What about the sneakers?
The sneakers, I don't know. They were comfortable.
They got their own close-up.
Maybe that's why I wore them, so I could go on point.
Sur le point. Now, by the way, they rejected I Am Changing, and then you give them the big middle finger because you sang I Am Changing on the show.
That was the first song I did on the show.
Okay, I got to play it. And
I mean, I just say, because I've been watching this whole show. I mean, like, first of all, I had such a crush on Michael and Scott. And secondly, Penny Mealing just freaking knocked it out of the park. She was so unbelievable. We were on the same year. And I remember being in some restaurant with a piano and us both singing. And I'm telling you, like, screaming our guts out. It was just like, I'm all of a sudden, you know, I was like, whatever I was, 21, 22. And surrounded by all this, oh, hi, honey.
Hi.
Surrounded by all this talent and these people who had this dream and this focus. And it was, honey, do you remember where? I don't know what it was.
Listen,
it was a restaurant.
I don't remember the restaurant. I remember just the family of these people, even people you were competing against. It wasn't like that at all. It was just art. It was art, like an explosion,
It was more like the Great British Baking Show than American Idol. People supported each other. People wanted each other to do well.
Exactly. That's right. And I have to tell you, I lost in the semifinals, and I was like, oh, okay, thanks. And then I walked off stage. You know, I was upset, but I didn't show it. And then I held on. I got to the wing and I had to hold on and I stopped. The girl, Elisa Guys, who beat me, came over and said, she rubbed my back and she said, don't worry, this is just the beginning. And she was so, oh my God, it was just a great group of people. It wasn't about a competition.
You know
it
what?
Was about your craft.
I think also, Penny, that because it was the first season, that it wasn't the fifth season where there was something to get, where you saw how famous these people had become.
That's right.
So there was an innocence about it.
Absolutely.
Happened. The shows didn't air till 4 or 5 weeks after we shot it.
Right.
So our lives hit that thing where all of a sudden our lives changed.
Yeah.
But I don't think that there were the high stakes that there were a few years later when they saw the power of the show.
Absolutely.
We were like we were going to camp for the summer.
Right. We got in when the getting was good.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was great.
And I love that, Penny, you sang Effie, and Sam, you sang Effie.
I'm trying every way I can. I'm changing. I've been better than I am. But I need a friend to help me start my love again.
Oh!
Oh!
And there's one more thing I have to show you, because you also, it's interesting how you echoed Penny, because she did Dream Goes, you did Dream Goes, she did God Bless the Child, the slow version, and you also did it. And I'm obsessed with how fluid your riffs are. Did you guys plan it?
She did like a funky version, and I did like a drama version.
And your riffs are so fluid. I want to show the bridge section because I love the fluidity of your riffs.
Yeah.
Fluid, really fluid.
The Wombi. Yeah.
No. Hey, wait. Before we because we're gonna wrap up in just a couple minutes, but a couple things I have to say. You literally have a show. It's such perfect time. You have a show out right now, all about your life, but there's a whole Star Search segment. I'm gonna put up the link for how people can watch it. You can watch it on Broadway HD, but where do we go?
Huh? Oh, Broadway HD.
That's literally it. Just Broadway HD.
But guess what, you guys? James, Beth.
Yes.
I feel like so pluggy when I do this shit, and I don't mean to. But they gave me this crazy promo that if you're not a subscriber of a Broadway HD, which you should be anyway, that they're giving us a free month If you use the code, hold on. Yeah, Ham HD. Think of Ham Fat Man. Ham HD. Ham FM. Half FM. Half FM. And they will give this, and you can watch this movie of my show.
Ham FM.
Is that it, Sam?
Yeah.
That's
Ham
it.
FM.
I get you.
So it's Broadway HD, but use that code, and it's all about
That's
Sam's
it.
life. Tons of live, amazing singing, and a whole Star Trek segment where the sign comes down and he replicates the amazing Pat of the Bell. So talk about that Somewhere Over the Rainbow, because that's what I remember the most from that season, was watching Somewhere Over the Rainbow and that slide at the end. How did you know the Pat of the Bell version? Like, how did it all happen?
Well, the first, number of songs were already in my repertoire. I'm Changing, God Bless the Child, all these things I had sort of done. And then I kind of ran out of material, but I would never pick my material until I had one, because I didn't want to give it a category, like a
Very Jew. You're so Jewish, Sam Harris, from the South. I'm not Jewish, but I love it.
So then I just started listening to artists that I loved, and I sang some obscure songs. I sang original songs, but then Over the Rainbow, and it was the Patti LaBelle thing, and I totally just did her arrangement. I made it mine to a degree. But I did that in the middle of the show sometime, and then I did it again for the semifinals, but I did not do it for the finals. I sang another Patti LaBelle song called Going Down to Your River, which is basically about like oral sex, I think. I was never sure.
Let's skip that part. So here's this rainbow that I remember so clearly, in the tuxedo and the sneakers and the slide at the end, which everyone was obsessed with in the 80s.
If birds fly over the rainbow, then why, oh why can't
All I remember is sitting in the halls of the studio and smoking. We could smoke inside, and just sitting and smoking and drinking warm water with apple juice. That's all I could remember.
You guys are all so brave. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like Scott, everyone was just flipping, kicking, hitting high notes, like, and it's one take.
But isn't that part of sort of like that youth and that drive? And when you have something that you want and it's really scary, but like Penny said, you just go do it. I was so desperate for people to hear me. I just wanted to be heard. And I look back at the songs that I chose on that show all through the season, and every single one of them is about hope and being seen. I mean, I'm Changing. It was God Bless the Child. It was It's My Turn. It was I Shall Be Released. It was the Love Me, validate me.
It worked out, girl. So Sam Harris, you said you're going to perform for me. I don't know how you're going to perform in your kitchen, but I'm going to.
I'm not. I'm going to move. I'm going to move to here. Wow. But you know what? God damn you, because I during COVID, the only time I sing is when I'm doing something like this. And so, it's a muscle like anything. And mine is not in shape, but I will sing something for you. And I picked this song because it's kind of there's my ring light in the back. You see that? I picked this song because it's kind of where I feel like we are with all the shit that's going on, but also because it only has 4 chords, because I'm not a good piano player. So I'm already embarrassed to be playing in front of you. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. No, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need more of. No one can fill those of your needs and you won't let show. You just call me brother when you need a hand. We all need, sing along, somebody to lean on. Well, I just might have a problem that you will understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. Fuck me. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. No, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Oh, lean on if you need me. Lean on me if you want me. I'll be there in a hurry. On that you can depend and never worry. Call me, oh, call me. I got to be somebody to lean on. Oi, did you? I'm so embarrassed because I don't play. I'm a bad player.
Girl,
oh, that was so great, and I love how the ring light fell.
However, I think I actually look younger in this light.
Oh my God, the comments are so amazing. How you still sound the same, how you look so good. But in order for us to really know how good you are, let's see how you did.
The male vocalist, $100,000 winner is Sam Harris.
You won.
Well, there was so much pressure. There was so much pressure because the show had become so big for me.
By then, yeah.
And it's like if I lost, I would have. I don't know what would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see how I kind of blew off Ty Herndon?
Yes.
I was like, yeah, okay, and you. I won. I won.
Honesty is refreshing. All right, guys. What a great night. Thank you, Boys Back East. Thank you, Penny. Thank you, Sam. It was really lovely.
So fun.
It was super fun.
Good joy.
You guys were so inspirational. I feel like you're like a chorus line. You know, like you were such inspiration to people, you know, that would watch you on TV and just aspire to either be you or to date you. Michael and Scott. That's what everyone keeps saying. We get the biggest crush. We get it. We get it. All right, I'm going to run the credits. 1, 2, 3. Credits.
What are you gonna play, Seth?
4 chords.
Okay.
904.
Oh, Denny's playing.
Yes, Penny.
Yeah.
No pen. Yes, Penny Mealing.